Radio check. Radio check. Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome then to a live race replay of the SVR Division 2, S2 division, as it were, the second round of their season, taking place at the same place in Interlagos as the SVR top division, their sixth round taking on. We've got some reserve drivers in position. We've got different people taking part, but we've got the same team franchises coming up for you. So looking forward to this one, and thanks to QT and to Scavi for joining us live. At least if you are live with us, do say hello and interact with the stream. But no spoilers, please, because I don't know the result just yet. At the back of the grid, qualifying was Drupert for Skynet, and then we have Mrs. Aya here in the Azul Racing team, I'm assuming, but she's gone for a matte black X1 Red Bull Junior. We've got Sal in the Pepsi color scheme for Azul. Some additional sponsorship that Sal has brought to the car, and then we have Scavi here in P9 with the team. So looking forward to seeing how he goes forward. We have Liquid Gecko in P8 for the Cabbage Corp team, who have a very different livery showing than they have in the top division, but still the same green and yellow, of course, with teammate Baron Bocci alongside. In seventh position, we have Milo in the Vortex colour scheme, but with maybe a touch of additional green on there. I'm not entirely sure until we get underway. We're in the shadow here on the shadow of the grandstands at Interlagos. Qualifying sixth is Milo. Then we have Bolide Fate in fifth position, Senior Dude in fourth position. We have Sickwidit VR, Sickwidit, that makes sense, in P3, and Nintendo in P2. But qualifying on pole position is Nasty here, number 32, Nasty PSVR. And we'll get trackside for us then and see how this race unfolds. We'll try and do some replays if things take us that way. We've got really aggressive tyre wear and fuel usage on the cars to make sure that the drivers have to pit. The intention is to pit twice throughout the course of the race. We will get into the meat and potatoes and bones of all of that as we get underway. But 19 laps of Interlagos await. And we look forward to seeing what the drivers can do here in only their second round with us here at Super Formula Racing. The lights are on. It's time to go. And it's drop the clutch and go. A great start at the front from Nasty with Sickwidit also alongside with Nintendo in second position, holding on from Senior Dodo in third position. Sickwidit circulating in fourth. Liquid Gecko up to fifth place already, but what an amazing start from Nasty, who gets his way all the way up to the front and stays there, extends the gap out. And looking very, very good for the Azul Racing team is Nasty. Nintendo settling into second position. Senior Dude into third place. And Liquid Gecko getting very close into Decido de Lago and a little bit too close. Several cars going wide on the first time of braking into Decido de Lago for the drivers here as they judge their braking positions on these fairly full, sort of over half tank of fuel race cars right now. Several track limit penalties piling up already. They will take effect later. Mrs. Aya back at the back of the grid here in the matte black, hoping to hide, I think, in the matte black race car as we get all kinds of wrong on several of the drivers' positions here. Let's try and track back what just happened there. We saw Drupert near the back, but it was I think it was Saul had an issue. Let's join Saul on board and see what happened as we head into the Ferradura corner. You can see Milo just rejoining the racetrack. Will there be any kind of move going on here? This is into Magulo corner, no, and it's just cars getting a little bit out of shape. And then as soon as the rear end of the car gets out from under you, it is a very, very difficult job to get back on terms with the racetrack. But these drivers are definitely going to be learning as they go here, with Believe Fate going to take a 1 second penalty just after the Yunsao corner. But closing out the first lap, we will see Nasty, Nintendo and Sick With It running very, very nicely away from the start. We've got Senior Dude coming through here in the Red Bull colour scheme at the moment here, and running through with several drivers taking those penalties as they'll go side by side in towards Curve 1. Senior Dude holding the inside, temporarily going down outside of the fourth position, and banging wheels they go round through the Estor Senna. Berend Bocci getting a little bit out of shape there, just trying to find some room on the racetrack, and will try and get a good run out of Curva del Sol and have a go into the corner. He's got his teammate 2 places up ahead, has Berend Bocci for the Cabbage Corp race team. Needs some additional sponsors on the car. Senior Dude getting loose on the rear there, but just recovering things as he holds on to 5th position. Berend Bocci now looking in the mirrors because Scavi is on the hunt and trying to circulate there around the outside of Ferradura into La Ranjina and heading down towards SA corner. Berend Bocci still on the defensive inside corner, and Scavi just unable to get a good position to use the traction that should be available to him. Nintendo losing the rear as well. These Red Bull X1 Junior cars getting a thorough workout on the rear of these drivers' cars. Racing soft tyres seem to be on board with Nintendo, but Liquid Gecko and Sick With It in 3rd and 2nd places respectively on the medium tyres, with our leader Nasty on the softs and able to cruise, it seems, right now. 3-way battle up past the Subida dos box and through around the pit lane entry position that we go. Berend Bocci in the lead. Nintendo almost fully alongside Senior Dude this time, and they'll head down into Curve 1. Who dares brake later? Well, Nintendo seems to be giving up a little bit of the braking impetus into the corner, perhaps a little bit shy of going wheel to wheel any further, and actually Senior Dude managed to head forward and up into 4th position. Nice maneuver, and certainly the bravest on the brakes there. I believe that this is Darkside Racing with the Imperial markings on the colour scheme, but it's a very different colour scheme to what I'm used to in the Darkside Racing Super VoRmula cars. Berend Bocci's in 5th position. We've got Scavi there into 6th place now, and trying to find a way forwards as much as possible. Nintendo, the big loser from the start, it would seem, after the first lap anyway, and seems very cagey on the car and is losing tyre grip and performance as he runs through. Scavi then seemingly a little bit more in control of this car and running through. We are 3 laps deep into a 19-lap race here, and we will see who can profit over the various different strategies that are going to be working throughout the course of the race. Nice to see Mario here as well, supporting his junior team, as it were. Nintendo with a good run that time, now getting a little bit of momentum. Is he about to get a 2-for-1 here as they run out of Yunsao? Nintendo has the inside line and potentially the best run towards the next corner, and he's already well ahead. Senior Dude's picked up a penalty. I think that's just going over the track apron on the way into the next corner. Berend Bocci and Scavi go side by side once again. Scavi right out on the outside, round the marbles, gives up the position, might even lose out to Believe Fate here. Believe Fate sneaks up the inside, does our Italian driver for Skynet, and a beautiful manoeuvre, absolutely tremendous from Believe Fate there, just pouncing on the opportunity, and they will run Nasty, Sick With It, Liquid Gecko, Senior Dude, Nintendo, VoRmula here in P6, and trying to find a way through past Nintendo, who had a small error going through Decido de Lagos, lost a whole host of momentum, lost half a second penalty to come as well as 2 places through Decido de Lagos. So flashes of brilliance from Nintendo, and then some very nervous recovery driving as he goes through. We've got Mario cheering on Sick With It here, who is in 2nd position, and but giving up a lot of race time to Nasty, who we recall is on the soft tyres. So Sick With It is the highest running medium tyre runner with Liquid Gecko for the Cabbage Corp team. Fairly comfortable in 3rd position, no one behind, but clearly wanting to move forward if at all possible. On the provisional podium positions though, VoRmula will come through behind Senior Dude, who has a penalty, although that gap looks a little bit too great for VoRmula to get right up to the gearbox of Senior Dude. Bolide Fay now just behind his teammate, just behind VoRmula as they run in, and Bolide Fay having a look at trying to follow through. We've got Scabby down in 7th with Nintendo in 8th position, just running through. We've got Sol, who has raced with us in the top division for a short spell for just a reserve seat, as all these drivers are eligible if our main drivers can't make it. We've got Mrs. Aya in 10th position, and I do apologise that I don't know Mrs. Aya's full name. Milo is down in 11th at the moment. Drupal back where he started in 12th position, but Nasty has a great gap here and is just hovering around the 45 to 50% tyre usage, and has just over 33% of his fuel remaining. 5 laps gone for Nasty, well 4.5 I suppose, of 19 total. So who have we got close to each other on the racetrack? Well, VoRmula is still shadowing Senior Dude here, looking for an opportunity, just piling on the pressure at the moment. There's Nintendo in the TRF, I think, colour scheme. That was not the guest colour scheme that TRF lead team had here for the Senna reminiscent livery. That looks like, is that a dog? Is that Jake the dog from Adventure Time on VoRmula's helmet, I wonder? It looks that way. Here is VoRmula trying to run this through. Bolide Fay, the first pitter it looks like, off the soft tyres. We've got rear damage on the car and rear right damage, so that might be accelerating his need for a pit stop. Bolide Fay off the soft tyres then, the first to blink. Senior Dude is in 4th with VoRmula in 5th, having gained a little bit of time ahead of Scabby that time, running through lap 5. No damage it seems on the car at the moment for VoRmula. And there's Scabby in 6th position just behind him. How's Nintendo doing at the moment in the, I want to say TRF colour scheme, but am I getting this wrong? No, it is a split down the middle TRF, I think. I'll get a closer look at that and confirm for you. But yeah, another glorious colour scheme here for the TRF team. They've emptied they've run out, I think, of metallic colour. Oh no, maybe on the glinting sun, it's the proper official blue and red. It looks so different on the Red Bull X1 Junior car. Nintendo in 7th position, and the only one wearing that particular livery here today. I think this is Scabby in the dark side colour scheme, but if you're watching with me live, do correct my team affiliations here if I'm getting them wrong. Nasty still leads, Sick With It is in 2nd, and Liquid Gecko in P3. Teammate VoRmula is in P5 with Senior Dude just ahead of him, and Scabby shadowing as they run through the order. Now let's find out, where did Bolide Fay come out of the pits onto medium tyres, filled up to 3/4 of the tank of fuel, and he's stuck on the medium tyres now, so should be good for a fairly good run. And just confirming, thank you very much for that, because as I say, the new Buccini team does have a very similar colour scheme with the Italian tricolore detail. But Sol and Mrs. Aya are in the pits. VoRmula has come in as well, and waiting to get a new set of boots on the car. All these drivers started on the softs, but so did Nasty at the front, and he is bravely continuing to run here, perhaps going to try and get away with a one-stopper. Let's see, he's certainly got the cushion behind, to run that preferred strategy, and will certainly be feeling the car getting lighter and lighter, but so will the grip on the corners. It's intriguing to me that the Azul Racing team have managed to pick up a Pepsi sponsorship, but only for the junior team, so presumably going to be expanding those sponsorship deals throughout the course of the season. Any pit stop coming for our leader, Nasty? Yes, indeed. It looks like you don't want to get these cars too light on their tyres. And I do wish Gran Turismo would allow us to slow for the pit lane properly, because it does slightly take you out of the immersion. Sick With It then will become our new leader as he heads over the crest of the start-finish line to start lap 8. And Sick With It is up there and just struggling to get into the corner there. I think that's again the tyre situation bearing witness on the car, struggling just to brake properly and smoothly into curve 1. And Liquid Gecko then will see the gap reducing for himself and start to feel like he's going to get forward. Happy Tuesday to AJ, to everybody as well. If you happen to be watching this live or on the Tuesday for you, Nintendo's made it into 3rd position now thanks to the other pit stops, but he's also the last driver, it looks like, on the soft tyres to pit, so bravely trying to hang on here to these tyres. And we're just behind him. Nasty has come out from 1st position and come out into 4th place after his first pit stop. 1st of 2, 1st of 1. Let's wait and see. But we're approaching the mid part of lap 2. As Scabby said, he switched to the hard tyres, unfortunately. So there you have it, confirmed, and struggling with the 3-second penalty on the car. Was that going to be one of those crossing the white line situations? Well, that camera angle really didn't tell us, did it? And I don't think we're going to get the camera angles to tell us, unfortunately. Let's try and have a look here as we run in. I'm pretty sure that's what the 3-second penalty was for. And given that Scabby's watching, we'll make sure we fully just... There it is, over the white line. That is a shame, and a 3-second off-throttle penalty to come for Scabby. We'll make sure that we fully embrace the embarrassment for our drivers once they're on live. But hard tyres for Scabby. Maybe not even enough fuel left to go. So down into 7th and likely to lose further places. Belife right there with him. And could do with being a little bit more patient there, Belife, but he's going straight down the inside into Pinerino corner. Quite happy to pounce. I think frustrated at the braking ability thanks to the cold hard tyres on board Scabby. And Belife not happy to wait for that penalty to take effect and launching a move straight up into P7 then on those new medium tyres for him. And we'll run through. Behind him then will be Scabby, and he will come to an almost standstill as he passes the yellow chevrons. Now the braking lights, the penalty lights come on. There he goes, and that is heartbreaking for Scabby. But still, over 10 laps to go before we can claim the checkered flag, so plenty of racing still to go. Mrs. Aya in P11 right now on the new medium tyres as well, and ahead of Milo at the back of the grid right now, likewise on those new medium tyres. Let's wait and see. Where is Nintendo? He's still on the soft tyres. He's in P4. He's found some pace despite the fact that he's shredded these soft tyres almost down to the canvas. Maybe only about 15% on his front right here for Nintendo, and you can see him just treading carefully through the SA corner and into Pinerino now. But surely it's time to pit for him and try and brim the tank and go long here on this second stint if he can. It's lap 9 of 19. Nasty is still in 3rd position. Sick With It and Liquid Gecko still have yet to pit, but so has Nintendo here, as we're presumably about to see him head into the pit lane. And he just gets out onto the grass, understeer mid-corner through Yunsao, and hopefully he'll be in to sort this car out and get it to a much better place for him. Need to avoid crossing that white line as well, and into the pits comes him. into the pits, Nintendo, but Sigwidit and Liquid Gecko on the medium tyres, still only about 35 to 40% used on that front right for Sigwidit. He's managing that medium tyre really nicely, and I think he's going to run out of fuel before he runs out of tyres here. Same story for Liquid Gecko, perhaps even a lap earlier for Liquid Gecko, who is pushing so hard he's picked up a half-second penalty on this 10th lap. Nintendo dropping down the order. Nasty is in 3rd position, then we've got Senior Dude and Berent Bodji with Believe Faye now in 6th place. I'm not sure whether Saul will get through past Nintendo, but we shall wait and see. Scully was pushing the envelope of the rulebook, I think, and just trying to find out what to do with regard to that pit lane exit. So here comes the penalty for Liquid Gecko. Sigwidit should still have an extra lap of fuel, I imagine, left on the car. But does he decide that it's time to pit? I imagine he's going to go past the halfway point significantly of our race. You can see Tag Heuer is sponsoring Sigwidit's Vortex car here. I haven't seen that before on the main team. So it looks like the junior team marketing departments have picked up some great sponsorships as Liquid Gecko pits now. Let's just have a nice close look, shall we, at Sigwidit's car. The Vortex, you can see the Rusty's Webo logo on the rear wing, and yeah, absolutely packed, jam-packed sponsorship on the front nose. Great to see. So the corporations are certainly believing in our S2 division. Nasty is over the white line there at Apex, going through Estor Senna, pushing hard on the medium tyres. He's able to push harder than most now, and he's got half a tank of fuel as he comes along the Retro-Aposta, fully alongside Drupert. Drupert is going to have to just... I was going to say Drupert yields, but absolutely not. He's quite happy going a lap down to fight tooth and nail with Nasty. Now, Nasty has got everything to lose here with the net lead of the race come the first pit stop from Sigwidit. But I don't think he's going to be too happy about that manoeuvre from Drupert. Let's just watch that again for Drupert. Was that a little bit of driver's justice coming into play as he goes into the Ferradura corner? He's undercut here by our previous leader Nasty, and a good old side swipe there. I don't think that's going to sit particularly well with Drupert, but he was holding up our previous leader. They didn't seem to be getting any blue flags, no blue flag zones at that position, but yeah, Drupert certainly being communicated to somewhat by Nasty there, and maybe Nasty is nasty by name and nature, but we'll reserve judgment for the rest of the season. Sigwidit is in at the end of his 11th lap. Has Nasty got enough fuel here for a finish? Looks like he may well do. So he's about to retake the lead of the race. He's now on the medium tyres as earlier. He had a decent lead earlier on, but now that we are getting into the second half of this race, that means Sigwidit will have less time spent stationary to refuel. Have less fuel to need to put into the car, but Nasty takes the lead. We've got Sigwidit just being unlapped, Drupert unlapping himself against Sigwidit, but will still be a lap down, and then we ride on board Sigwidit as he comes out of the pits. Where will Liquid Gecko's lap put him relative? I think he's going to be significantly behind here still, and there comes Sigwidit with Liquid Gecko just coming out of Curva del Sol. So it's back as it was before. Nasty, Sigwidit and Liquid Gecko after the round of pit stops, with Believe Faye in 4th position, and he's about the length of the Retro-Aposta behind Liquid Gecko. Berent Bodji is still within sight here of Believe Faye as we run down that Retro-Aposta and into Desida do Lago. A personal best time there from Berent Bodji. He's in the medium tyres. Just under a half a tank of fuel left to go on Berent Bodji's car. So we're going to look at the Lagos, or lake, of which this race is in the middle of, or inter, so to speak. Berent Bodji, 5th position. Senor Dude for Darkside Racing in P6. And needing a little bit of additional pace here, I think, to lift himself to the kind of pace that his top division team leader Vader has been able to unlock at various rounds through our season. Nintendo is coming through in P7. We've got a busy racetrack further back. Sal is in 8th place, just having a problem there, and we'll just check that one out. We go into the Cerro del Lago. Everything seems normal. We'll just overextend perhaps on the way out, or is it all the way? We're just grabbing too much of the apex, but potentially into the next corner. Just really oversteering into the apex of the following corner. But on the racetrack, 9th, 10th, 11th, we have Scabby, Milo and Mrs. Aya all the way. As Senior Dude says, unfortunately spun out a couple of laps back. Okay, apologies for not seeing that one, Senior Dude. But hopefully we can recover through the rest of this race. This is Milo. He's got Mrs. Aya behind and Scabby in front. And these are our closest racers at the moment. Medium tyres for Milo. Same as Scabby and Mrs. Aya, who has done away with all sponsorships on the car this time. But hopefully we'll get some stickers and some wraps put on the car for next time out. Milo just chasing down Scabby, keeping the pressure on and hoping to pick up some points. And that's Scabby, very slow, out of Yon Sao. And Milo then will have the opportunity to have a look to come through, thanks to Tom Patera as well. And we get the slipstream, but it's not a huge advantage here on board with Milo. Scabby going fully defensive into curve 1, and we run round then, but that does affect his line going through. Much more classic racing line then from Milo. He was a little bit hampered going through the Es del Sena, and out of Curva del Sol we go with Milo, not using the slipstream unusually here. I fear he perhaps wants to get tucked in as much as possible. Scabby early on the brakes, and again still probably driving with his mirrors here. We get another great over the shoulder view on board the Red Bull X1 Junior. This is the equivalent of the Apex camera in the passenger seat of our other Gran Turismo cars, but a very unusual one here, but much more active, very close to what the drivers experience, although we do see a lot more motion blur on the PSVR2 system than I am privileged to receive here on my boring 2D flat screen. Milo in 10th, Scabby chasing down in 9th, and is that Sol just ahead as well? And they're catching Sol as they move forward. Looks like Mrs. Aya is just being gapped here by Milo and Scabby. Nasty still leads, Sick With It is still second, and Liquid Gecko still in 3rd position. Those gaps fairly unchanged from earlier on. This is the main battles. It looks like, was that Sol going into the pits? It was. So Sol going in, and that is off the tyres he was on. He was on medium tyres, and that's damage on the front wing for Sol. Damage on the front wing for Sol. It looks like potentially that was explaining why he had lost some time to Scabby and Milo. So Milo in 9th position, Scabby in 8th now, thanks to that slightly unscheduled pit stop from Sol. Mrs. Aya through to P10. Liquid Gecko in that 3rd position, and he joins us on the live stream saying doesn't know how he stayed in the top 3. Well, Bolide Faye is in 4th place and can just about see the drivers in front. This is Liquid Gecko, I think behind, sorry, this is Sick With It. I think behind Sick With It is actually the lapped Drupet car. So the gaps are flattering to deceive slightly. The top 4 very spread out, but Baron Bodji is looking to try and gain some position here and catch Bolide Faye in the Skynet Racing franchise. And we go then with these fantastic camera angles from Gran Turismo. Senior Dude is in 6th, had a spin, but still very much in the midfield, in with a hunt here of some good points for the team. And running out of the Curva del Sol we go. Got Nintendo on the medium tyres, seems to have settled into some good pace. Nintendo now. It's right on board with him. We can see the mirrors as well. We can see Milo is not within sight, and just as I was saying good pace, he picks up a purple sector, and on those medium tyres, less than half a tank of fuel remaining. We have 4 to go now on our second round of the SVR2 division. Nice racing lines going on here for Nintendo. I don't know if he'll pick up a fastest second sector, but certainly that first sector was very, very strong. Fastest lap is with Sick With It at 1:32.6. No push to pass on these cars like they get in the top division of racing. So it's a much purer form for the drivers. Should get an update on the lap here. It's just slightly slower, but it's not by much. Just less than 0.2 of a second loss in the second sector for Nintendo. And we'll ride through, just check out if we can see anybody from behind. We see the favelas at Sao Paulo in the distance, but no one in the rear view mirror then for Nintendo. And that was the end of lap 15. It's beginning lap 16 with 3 to go for our drivers. And it's Nasty, Sick With It and Liquid Gecko as it was before. Bullyface still in that 4th position in the gorgeous chrome Skynet Racing team car. Running out of Desierto de Lago, the second part of Desierto de Lago, the descent towards the lake. We go into Ferradura and La Regina now. Let's have a closer look, shall we, at this livery. When the sun is not glinting off the side to the skulls. Some excellent artwork there by our livery designers. Tremendous stuff there on the Skynet Racing team car. It shows off the Red Bull X1 Junior curves to perfection, you have to say. Kind of a 22 Bullyface with the wheel covers on the front wheels there. And P4 for him. How are our rivals doing at the moment? Well, Milo and Scabby are still locked in battle here, waiting to see if anything happens between the two of them. But some very stable lap times from Milo in the 34s and 35s. The last lap, though, a 37. So that might indicate that the tyres are starting to go off, because it was a 36 and a 39 for Scabby on the previous 2 laps. And looks like we've got some damage on the front, or certainly some scrapes on the car there. I think it may be good to have a little look at Scabby, because I'm wondering if we've come to some sort of mischief here. Not seeing any change. Check out again. Run a couple more runs backwards, but no, nothing doing for us there to help detect what went wrong with Scabby and where he picked up the damage or the paint scrapings on the front left. No damage on the car itself at the moment affecting performance, and the medium tyres run nicely now. This is Mrs. Aya then in the matte black, just feeling her way around the racetrack. Came to reserve for us at very short notice, and we're very grateful to make up the field here to have Mrs. Aya. And I think finishing the race and not being last will be a really good result. This is Mr. Aya's teammate in the Azul Racing Team Sol. And we've got Nasty at the front of the field, got Sol in 11th, and then we've got Drew put down in 12th position, picking up the blue flag now and letting Liquid Gecko go through. And that was a little bit more compliant than we saw earlier on with Nasty. Nasty himself is about to lap, I think, P11 coming up. Let's ride with him and see, is he getting the blue flags coming up soon? But Nasty has managed to pick up a really nice lead here. I would say in the region of 6 to 7 seconds maybe at this stage for the Azul Racing team. And his lead drivers and team captain will be watching this and are very impressed. Yeah, Mrs. Aya just in P10 actually. Nasty is about to put a lap on. That's no mean feat in a 19-lap race. But he's still got to do a little bit of management here to get 2 more laps out of the remaining fuel. The medium tyres should hold on, but it's still going to be a less than perfectly comfortable finish to the race for Nasty. Just got to manage this one as he starts his penultimate lap and heads into curve 1. Sick With It on the soft tyres is definitely going to struggle to see this race out here on the tyres and the fuel. And Liquid Gecko similarly, but maybe a few percent more fuel on board with Liquid Gecko. He has now lapped Rupert. Bolide Faye is doing okay as well. If Nasty gets to the end, I think that Bolide Faye will too. Barrett Bodgy, plenty of fuel in comparison, and tyres. So 5th position for Barrett Bodgy. Got a nice split of the teams here. Cabbage Corp running P3 and P5. That's looking good. Scabby says Scratch was around lap 15. Turn 1, Milo turning in. Okay, don't think I can go all the way back, but thank you for the info, Scabby. It's good to see that you're able to give me that as Senior Dude then, as we get very, very close and personal to the SVR car. Senior Dude running in 6th position, and Nintendo, you can just about see these the drivers in front. Senior Dude is chasing down Barrett Bodgy here. Let's check out where Milo and Scabby are in relation to each other. Well, unchanged gap at the front, it seems. So Milo managing to hold off, keep Scabby at bay. It's a good looking car, that Vortex, as well, I think. As we get very, very close down the Retta Raposta, the kind of rabbit cam chasing down the straight with the drivers. Scabby coming through, and a battle-scarred Dark Side of racing car, quite appropriately enough. Almost looks like lightsabers down the side of the side of the engine cover as well. P10 for Mrs. Aya, and her final lap at the moment, because she has been lapped. Same for Sol and for Drupert. And Nasty is absolutely on his last lap and heading into Ferradura for the last time then, and we'll give him the benefit of the last few sectors here. Car 77, I wonder if he's channeling his affiliation to Valtteri Bottas. Let's see. He's in the red in the fuel. Don't think it'll be a concern at the end of the race here, because Sigwiddit is so far away, it's not going to be a big deal. Nasty has put on a great display here, and it's never really been in doubt, been very smooth, and certainly be knocking on the door of a top division drive for next season with a performance like this. Certainly the other team captains are going to be taking note. Nasty exits the Subidos box corner, passes the pit lane, and will win round 2 of Interlagos. Goes to Nasty and Team Azul, with Sigwiddit coming through for the Vortex Racing team in P2, with another great showing here from our drivers. Really good result, and you can tell it's certainly making Sigwiddit very happy indeed. Cabbage Corp, always popular team here, and Liquid Gecko, I'm sure, will be pleased enough to come home on the podium here in round 2 and complete a P3. Bolide Faye is definitely within a hunt for Skynet, picking up good points for the team, and a P4, a happy place for the driver. I think Drupert getting home to a finish will be pleased with that P12, with Barrett Bodgy in 5th, second of the Cabbage Corp drivers, followed by Senior Dude, very close to picking up that 5th position. Nintendo in the gorgeous TRF car, coming home in 7th place. Milo trying to hold off Scabby here to a finish, and I think will do so. He can just exit the corner. Look at the fuel on Milo's car. Will he enter low fuel mode, I wonder, as he heads into Yonsao? We'll see if Milo can hang on, because that low fuel mode is definitely kicking in. It's the same situation for Scabby as we round out the final few meters of the race. Well, just about. I think even if he goes into low fuel mode now, he'll be okay. Indicator on, it seems, at the moment, and crosses the line for Milo in 8th place. Scabby in 9th. We have Mrs. Aya in 10th, and Sol, the last of the finishers there. Well, that was a great race, really enjoyable from the SVR S2 division. There, round 2 of Interlagos. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you've enjoyed the coverage as well. We will see you next time for the race. Thank you for liking the video today and for subscribing wherever possible. But it's certainly been a pleasure. This is Webbo saying thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next race day.